Question. The member from Toronto Danforth.
Thank you, Speaker. My question to the Premier. As stakeholders have pointed out, the 2016 Ontario budget again squandered any chance to make childcare a priority in this province. We know families in Ontario are paying the highest childcare fees in the country. They're on the longest waiting lists, and we know some parents, particularly women, are being forced to delay getting back into the workforce because they can't find a spot for their child. To make matters worse, parents are being forced to pay fees just to get on these overwhelmingly long wait lists. Will the Premier immediately ensure that parents are no longer forced to pay fees just to get on a wait list for their child care?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I appreciate the question from the member, and I know that he's introducing a private member's bill. Mr. Speaker, I also want to acknowledge the member for Beaches East York who raised this issue with us, Mr. Speaker, and so it's an issue that crosses party boundaries, Mr. Speaker. We understand that. We're committed to modernizing childcare in Ontario, Mr. Speaker. We've doubled the funding for childcare, Mr. Speaker, 90% increase since 2003. We continue to provide more money to municipalities, Mr. Speaker, and an overall increase of funding of $16.3 million over last year. And, Mr. Speaker, we've listened to parents. We're committed to eliminating the childcare waitlist fees in Ontario, and we'll work with providers to get that regulation posted very soon, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Speaker, childcare is a smart investment. For every $1 spent, the province can see a $1.50 return.
Stop the clock, please. The member from Beaches East York is warned. Please finish.
Well, thank you, Speaker. I just want to make it clear to the Premier, introducing regulations that child care experts and stakeholders strongly disagree with is not a child care policy. Allowing wait lists for subsidized spaces to grow and grow is also not a child care policy. Forcing parents, particularly women, to stay home because they can't find a child care space is also not a child care policy. Ontarians deserve a comprehensive, evidence-based, long-term plan for universal, high-quality childcare in this province. Will the Premier take the first step? Will she ensure that families are not forced to pay fees just to sit on waiting lists?
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Speaker, this is an example of you can't take yes for an answer. I've already said that, Mr. Speaker. I've already said that, yes, the issue has been raised by the member for Toronto Danforth. The issue was raised by the member for Beaches East York, Mr. Speaker, and we have already said that we've listened to parents. We're committed to eliminating childcare waitlist fees in Ontario. We'll continue to work with parents and childcare providers to move forward on our commitment very, very soon, Mr. Speaker. So, yes, we are going to do that, and at the same time, Mr. Speaker, we're going to continue to work with municipalities to increase funding in childcare, and the Child Care and Early Years Act provides a new legislative framework to increase access and oversight in Ontario's childcare sector, Mr. Speaker. That put together is a childcare strategy, and that's what we've implemented, Mr. Speaker.